The Ukraine crisis is happening, believe it or not, and is currently a large issue within our modern world, focusing mainly on NATO's desire to expand into former USSR countries and Putin's overall desire to reunite the broken pieces of the USSR. Rewind. But how did it all start? Warning, this is my own opinion on this situation, and I recommend you look further into the crisis if you want to post your own opinion on it. I am in no way a source for this conflict and only rely on my knowledge of geopolitics and love of history to tell this to you. The USSR. Most of what has happened and is still happening is as a result of the United Socialist Soviet Republics, a country most clever people have heard about, and the influence of this nation still looms over our world today. When the USSR collapsed, Ukraine left and became an independent country, one of the first to leave the USSR. Putin has raged over this happening, calling it the worst event in the 20th century. But this goes back further. Not even the USSR is responsible for this event. It's Putin's and Russia's ties with Ukraine that makes Russia want Ukraine to be part of it. In 1721, the Tsardom of Russia was founded in Kiev, modern-day Ukraine. This was the beginnings of Russia, and this rule lasted for almost 200 years, meaning that Russia itself had its heart in Ukraine. Their modern-day country was literally made there. Almost 30% of all Ukrainians speak Russian as their native language, and I'm sure plenty more speak it as their second one. Ukraine is deeply built into Russian culture, and lots of their work and state of life is because of Russia, whether that be for the better or for the worst. Like Austria is culturally similar to Germany, both in language, ethnicity, and heritage, Ukraine is similar to Russia. Putin wants to reunite the displaced people as a result of the USSR, as he thinks that Ukrainians are meant to be Russians and that they are missing something not being part of it.
But I think that Putin's overall desires is to reunite the USSR and establish dominance again over a cowering Europe and restore the USSR. As he said earlier, the collapse of the USSR was the worst event in the 20th century, and you would think that if that worst event happened, but you could be the person to rectify it. I'm fairly sure that you would like to try and restore the great nation you grew up in if you had the chance.
But the 1,000s that have lost their lives already still aren't good, and no matter how much of a good argument he puts up, Putin must be stopped from invading Ukraine. He is sending his troops claiming that they are doing a training exercise, exactly like he said last time, when Russia-backed rebels took over Crimea.
Oh, and the main reason Putin actually wants Crimea is for a warm water port.
Russia doesn't have a warm water port in close proximity to its main training partners. It has one warm water port, meaning they can use it all year round without it freezing over, in Vladivostok, close to North Korea and Japan. But Crimea, mainly Sebastopol, has a direct link through the Mediterranean Sea, and therefore doesn't have to have the long journey during the winter of going halfway across the world to trade with its partners. But this is only my opinion. I'm not here to tell you what I think will happen, I just want to give more people clarification about how and why it started. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've learned something today.